Hello, and my name is Dan, aka the tipster in a suit, and I may not have been to the most racetracks. I've definitely not seen the most horses, but I love judging the form of the racing. And join me on the road to Cheltenham. It was a banging start to the weekend on Friday. I didn't put many selections up. The banker was Highland, and he duly obliged with a great front running performance. Resplendent Grey, fair play to him, nearly got up, but go on, you Highland, you good thing. That put us comfortably up on the Friday, and then I followed on by giving it all back on the Saturday. Plan Paradise did place, but had a few losers on the Saturday. It meant I ended up £10 down or £9 down going into the Sunday. Only had the one selection, does he know, on an insurance bet, 4 places, so that came back. So I ended up £9 down. It is a shame. Basically, I went into Bob Ollinger and Banbridge, didn't I? How Bob Ollinger's got beat by Home by the League. Like, can someone explain that to me? Like, an out-and-out stayer, never looks that great first time up Home by the League. It's over 2.5, and he beats the out-and-out 2.5 miler in Bob Ollinger. Like, it makes me sick. And then Banbridge, what's he got, like 11 wins on good out of 13? Like, a 3-1 shot on good, 2 miles. He's beaten Captain Guinness. And he was 30 lengths behind. 30 lengths. How is that possible? Fucking, yeah. So, yeah, Banbridge, Bob Ollinger, they did me dirty. Got me thinking about these early season short prices. I'm not sure it's the way forward. You don't know if they're ready. You don't know how the trainer's aiming them. And it's pissed me off that Banbridge lost on good. So, that was unlucky. At Cheltenham, there were some decent performances. We've already touched on Highland. Luda Sword looked very good in that Arkle trial, I felt. Will he be a genuine Arkle contender? I doubt it. Doubt he beats in the pocket. Doubt he beats Banbridge if he was to turn up here. But it's nice to have a British contender. So I thought I'd touch on him as well. And Hardy Boy, what a bridal merchant Hardy Boy is, eh? Like, don't he travel like an absolute dream coming down that hill? You think you've got it like in the bag, and Ben Jones gets shoving and there's absolutely nothing under that bonnet. So last time I fall for Hardy Boy, travelling like a dream and finding nothing. So there we are, that was the review. We're going to have better luck this week coming up, and I'm off to Haydock with the lucky 15. The champion has been crowned. It is Tom Allen. Well done, sir. He had a 45-point lead at one point in the season, got it down to about 9, but he pulled away over that weekend. So we're going to go and celebrate. It's a paid-for trip to Haydock with all our winnings. It was a profitable season, so we're going to enjoy that. So we're off to Haydock. That's the first race, or the first card we're going to review for the ante post. There's a 1:15 handicap hurdle, and the favourite is Beat the Bat. So he was impressive. It's a Harry Fry trained. He was a novice last season. He had some really good runs as well. He was 2.5 lengths behind Dysot Enos, giving that one some weight. That looks pretty decent. I know she came third in the Great Wood, but you'd still have to think she's a really good mare. And then he went on and beat Welcome to Cartres and that Ideal de Bordes for Nicky Henderson in a hot handicap at Ascot as well. So he's 7-2 off 131. But I think he will have to step up again over the summer to justify 132. So I'm happy to swerve him. Casminas is a strong one as well. That comeback run was actually really, really impressive, considering that it drifted on the day as well. So you'd have to think maybe the yard thought it was going to come on for the run. It did win rather nicely. So he would be strong as he continues to rise up the weights. But it is Spirit Denau that I've had a go on. So he's a 25-1 shot. Just to mention as well, with all this rain that's around, there's apparently going to be some snow as well. Currently, Haydock reads as good, but you can guarantee that's going to be soft or maybe heavy. So I do think looking at horses with good form on soft and heavy is going to pay dividends, and Spirit Denau has exactly that. He was mightily impressive at Sandown when winning. It's a form line I've liked on this channel before with Gia Gioni. And he did lose his way a little bit in the couple runs after that, but he came back to form with a nice 5th at Ascot in what was a really hot handicap. He ran a nice enough race, coming 5th, and he was dropped again, so he's now down to 132. I think that's a mark that he can win off. He is improving, hopefully. He is only a 5 or 6 year old. And so at 25-1, Spirit Denau is to play in that race. I've had £5 on at 25-1. After that is the graduation chase. This looks like a good little race, to be fair. Aroko heads the market, and that's a horse that I mentioned in my horses forgotten for this campaign. If you haven't checked that video out, it's a good little video actually, and a few of the horses have reappeared already, so do go and check that out after this one. I think Aroko's got loads and loads of ability. He's obviously a Martin Pipe winner, and those at the moment tend to be really well handicapped horses who go on to graded things. Like look at Galloping Deschamps in the past. Langadang could have if Scouten didn't forever keep him in handicaps and ruin his career. So, you know, winning the Martin Pipe, that's no joke. And he was very impressive on Chase debut at Warwick. Obviously had a bit of a injury, and they maybe rushed him back for the end of the season. And he looked all right at injury as well. On official ratings, he's clear. He does have weight to give. And on RPRs, he's probably got about £10. However, it's first race up of the season. Don't know if Aroko is going to be right for it. I've been burnt too many times by these short price favs anti-post, particularly when they go in as well. So I have decided to leave Aroko. It is a competitive field though. Trey Lawn, the Kim Bailey trained one, looked really good. It hung really badly right at Wetherby when coming a length second to Colonel Harry. And it definitely would have won that at a left-handed track. Haydock is exactly that. He was a joint fav, I believe, for the Ultima as well, and seated the rider fairly early. So Trey Lawn is one that could go. Hillcrest is another one that I mentioned in that Forgotten Horses video. Nearly 3 years off the track, but my oh my, he looked an absolute monster, didn't he? He's one of the biggest horses in training as well. It's probably why he got injured so easily. And it would take some really good going to go and win this race on his first run back after 3 years. He's something like 9-2 as well. I don't think he could be taking a price that short on a horse who's been out this long, despite the blatant ability he does have. Definitely Silence does deserve a mention as well. He was really impressive winning a nice novice hurdle at the end of, well, no, I think it was December last year, and then he hasn't been seen since. He had like Josh the Boss behind. Obviously, he did well off the back of it. And he was entered last week, but ended up not running due to the ground. He would have to find about £20 odd, however, on Aroko. Currently 10-1, but Definite Silence could be worth a watch as well. I think he's one who could progress for the Scoutons. So it is a race that I'm going to leave for now. And look, if Aroko's evens on the day, I'm going to have to take that. On official ratings and RPRs, he's clear, but I do think it's a good competitive race. After that is a 3-mile handicap, but I'm not going to touch on that at all, really. There's another 3-mile handicap at Ascot. There's a 2.5-mile handicap at Haydock as well, with some horses double and triple entered. I think it's just going to be too trappy to try and find the right horse in the right race. So I've decided to leave it for this week. That takes us to the main event at Haydock. It is the Betfair Chase, the first Grade 1 stay-in chase of the season over in Britain. And it's Grey Dawning, who is top of the market at around 7-4, 15-8. Now, Grey Dawning was brilliant winning the Turners, the last Turners for now, at Cheltenham, beating Ginny's Destiny, and they drew miles clear of the rest. He had some really impressive performances as well. His win at Haydock last season, where he beat Apples Away by 14 lengths, who herself beat Broadway Boy by another 14, 15 lengths. It was a brilliant staying performance on what was, you know, tough ground. But there are some drawbacks to Grey Dawning. Number one, as good as that form looks, essentially it is a novice company. Now, when novices do step up into open company, it's a different kettle of fish. Stay Away Faye did all right in the Cotswold Chase last year, so that would suggest that I would believe Grey Dawning is a better staying animal than Stay Away Faye. So you'd think Grey Dawning should be up there, but you don't know until you see it. Also, Grey Dawning's record fresh is not very good. Hasn't won the last 2 seasons. Was beaten by Changing Man last season, and that's a potentially well handicapped horse, but it is only a 130 horse. The year before as well, Grey Dawning beaten. Scouten has come out and said that was because they didn't have Grey Dawning right for those races. It was seen as a race to bring him along for the season, whereas this is a prime target on the road to the Gold Cup, so Grey Dawning absolutely will be right for it. I don't doubt that is the case, but at 15-8, with those question marks around, I have decided to leave him. Ahoy Senor is a horse I absolutely love. I back him most times he runs, which means I lose most times he runs. He's got a hell of an engine on him. You know, he's won some races. He's won a few races, but not enough with a horse of his ability. But I can't believe he's second favourite. he never seems to win anymore. So yeah, he's to be swerved and probably goes and wins. Capodanno's been supplemented for Mullins. As I mentioned, that was the Cotswold Chase winner in January this year, but last season was supplemented as well. So you think they're not going to be wasting the money entering him if he's not going to be right for this race. But I would be disappointed if he ended up being better than Grey Dawning and beating my selection in this. My selection is the Specialist at Haydock with form figures of 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. Royal Pagala's won 2 Peter Marsh chases, has won this race last season, and the only time it didn't win at Haydock was when a Plutard was absolutely prime a Plutard and won by 20 odd lengths. But on that occasion, Royal Pagala was a further 20 odd lengths clear of the rest. So minus a Plutard, it'd be 5 wins at Haydock, 2 Betfair chases and 2 Peter Marshes. That is an incredible record. They say horses for courses, it's particularly true at Haydock. I remember Bristol Demai being the course specialist there, and you could bank on him winning the Betfair Chase every time he turned up. I don't think you can bank on this, but I think minus Grey Dawning, there is no way Royal Pagala wouldn't be in the top 2, meaning the top 3 is well within Royal Pagala's grasp here. It means I've had £25 each way in the anti-post market. I've got 6 to 1 with 365, which is still the price available. I can't see Royal Pagala not being in the top 3. I think it's the safest each way bet I'm going to have this season. And with the conditions getting heavy, that's only going to benefit our pick here as well. So Royal Pagala is the play in the Betfair Chase. So hopefully, if I'm at Haydock, I'll be screaming stay as he's maybe got Grey Dawning nipping at his heels. But yeah, it should be a brilliant race, and I can't wait to see it. And it looks a lot better than previous renewals as well. They all stand their ground, and it should be a nice competitive race. Over to Ascot, and there's 2 races I wanted to just preview here. There's no selection. The first one is the 1965 Chase. That looks an awful renewal. I remember when this was a match between Cyname and Ascot, and Altior, sorry. And this is just drivel, absolute drivel. Pick Dory is top of the market at 4 to 5, and Pick Dory absolutely will win this if it turns up. The rest of them are handicappers, and some of them not even good handicappers. Like there's a horse rated 1, 3, 2 in there, which is criminal for what used to be a Grade 2 race. However, with my favourite backing not going so well at the moment, I've decided to leave it. Knowing my luck, Pick Dory won't turn up, and then it's a nice open affair. But if he was to turn up and was evens on the day, you'd have to look steam into that. It seems an absolute banker. As soon as you get your money back if he's an on-runner. If he's still evens, Pick Dory is definitely the play. But a much more competitive race to finish at Ascot is the Ascot Hurdle, over 2.3 miles. Golden Ace is head of the market on this one. The mare's winner from Cheltenham, and that form only seems to be getting better with brighter days ahead. Not better days ahead, who beats Slaysdale, brighter days ahead, winning on the return race this season. She will receive weight all round as well, being a mare, but at 2 to 1 she's a little bit skinny, and what looks a nice competitive race, I've decided to leave Golden Ace. Blue King Daru, a 3rd horse running this weekend that was in my Forgotten Horses video, still only a 5-year-old, and returns to the race that I believe it was this race that he won last year, surprising everyone as a 4-year-old. Still only 5, is probably summered well and still improving. You think he'd have a good go at 4 to 1, and rates as a good danger. Thunder Rock didn't run in its last race, and we'll take up the option here. Again, it is over hurdles, and he doesn't seem to enjoy chasing. I think it's the right move to bring back over hurdles. He's high enough in the handicap, he'd be a 149 horse, so he should be taking his chance in a race like this. 9 to 2 seems a fair price. Django Bay comes up from novices. He has some good enough form, but did lose to Kateria. Kateria losing to Beacon Edge means I can't believe he's above a 140 really. He is only 5, probably will be improving, but it's one I'm going to swerve. And Salva as well was a good Triumph horse, best for the British in the Triumph. He could be improving as well. We'll love it if it's sloshy and muddy. If you saw his Chepstow run, you know what I mean about that. So it looks really, really competitive. But actually, one that drew my eye is Lucky Place. Now, Lucky Place was entered for a novice chase and is entered for another one on the Friday. I imagine that is the race that Lucky Place will go to. However, if it does take this hurdle race in its stride before going chasing, it could have a chance. It was a 137 rated horse when it came fourth in that Coral Cup to Langadan and Ballyadam. I think that is good form and it's going to work out well. And you've got to remember at the time, the Hendersons was either pulling all the horses out or they were running terribly at Cheltenham. Lucky Place was probably one of his best performers alongside Lucia. So you think he's going to, you know, turn into a good horse. He's rated 140 at the moment. I see him being better than that. And if he is, he would have a chance of winning this hurdle race. However, likely to go for that novice race on the Friday, and I'll be backing him wherever he turns up. So I've got Spirit Danu, £5 each way, 25 to 1. Hopefully it's nice and sloshy. And then we've got Raw Pagar in the Betfair Chase, £25 each way at 6 to 1. Let me know what you think of the racing this weekend and the selections that I have for it in the comments below. It does mean a lot to me when you comment. Leave a like on the video. I massively appreciate that. Thank you for watching till the end, you bloody legends, and I will catch you in the next one.